Well, this Sunday marks the third anniversary of Korea's trade agreement with the United States.
And to tell us more about the economic impact of this agreement on the bilateral trade, our Shin Se-min joins us live right here in the studio. So, Se-min, give us a progress report.
Yes, Chetty, it's not easy to give a simple grade on this because the trade pact has, pact has brought up the bilateral trade volume, and that the level of the volume on-year growth was the highest last year, coming in at over $150 billion last year, up more than 11%. Now, this is larger than the level of average growth we saw with other countries, which is in the 2% range. Now, let me bring this chart up here. As you can see that the Korean exports to the U.S. grew from $58 billion 3 years ago to over $70 billion last year. Now that's up 13% from the year before. So the free trade agreement effect is there, but we can't overlook the fact that the U.S. economic recovery also played a role boosting the U.S. consumption.
Sure. So the recovery in the U.S. played a role, but let's talk about the market share of Korean products in the U.S. market. I was surprised to find it at mere 3%. That doesn't seem like a lot, is it?
It may not seem like a lot, Cherry, but the experts that I talked to say that it is a well-played game, especially after the competition with the cheap Japanese products. Now, they seem to focus on the fact that Korea has managed to increase its market share while dealing with the Japanese weaker yen.
Then why is it that we're not really feeling the impact or the benefits of this trade agreement? I mean, I rarely go grocery shopping, but you know very well that these products, the cherries, lemons, oranges coming from the United States are not exactly cheaper because of the free trade agreement. Why is that?
You're right. It all simmers down to the distribution channel. Now, listen to this.
The distribution channel for agricultural goods is to blame for pricey U.S. produce. The distribution system for such produce is much weaker than that for industrial products. So unless cherries or lemons are things that every Korean consumes on a daily basis, the import volume won't go up and prices will likely remain the same.
Now, as she just said, Korean consumers aren't eating enough cherries or lemons or oranges. And if those agricultural goods have a much larger demand in Korea, it'll definitely force the importers to ship in larger amounts of products, thereby lowering the consumer price tax. But especially with agricultural products, it's a little difficult to bring them in large chunks as they'll go bad if time passes.
Well, just because there's not enough demand to meet a certain amount of supply doesn't necessarily always wash out. Sometimes when I've talked to analysts about this, they say it really does come down to the retailers, wholesalers, whether they choose to pass on the savings to the consumers, and that always doesn't happen, as I've seen in the store for $28 butter. But yeah, $28, I think.
Okay.
Well, I don't know where the trade deal is on that. Yeah. But what are some of the things that the Korean exporters are doing to help improve bilateral relations in the long run under this trade deal?
Now, ultimately, it all boils down to the quality. Now, not just because that we have the free trade agreement with the U.S., but in order to expand the market share of our products in their market, the quality has to entice customers there. But the U.S. market looks more promising, according to an analyst I spoke with today.
With the slowly growing global economy, demand isn't likely to stretch like it has in the past. And the U.S. economy is slowly recovering, but it's picking up speed, and that's pretty much our only hope.
Now, he also added that Korean automobiles and parts, mobile communication devices like smartphones and even dietary supplements were welcomed in the markets in the U.S. Now, however, increased exports of those products aren't necessarily because of the free trade deal. It could just be the effects of economic recovery in the U.S. But all in all, bilateral trade will only grow further as autos and other products will also be added to the tariff-free list starting next year. And very soon we'll likely be able to see where the Korean automakers and other exporters will stand in their market. So.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for the update on that, and happy 3-year anniversary to the FTA.
Great. Thank you very much.